Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back in to another round of Astros Recap Postseason edition. So it is Tuesday afternoon, 2:33 p.m., November 2nd. The Astros play a game here in about 4.5 hours. So Game 6 of the World Series. Obviously, by the time you're watching this, the World Series might be over. Or if the Astros can force a Game 7, maybe we'll be playing Game 7 very shortly here. But wanted to do this last night. That was the original plan. I lost track of time. I looked up. It was after midnight. So at that point, didn't feel like coming up here to do this. So anyway, a little late, but I want to give you a few hours to actually watch this if you plan to before the Astros start Game 6 or Game 7. Or maybe you're watching this after the World Series. I don't know. So, Game 7, obviously, if necessary. The Astros come back home now down 3-2. They did stave off elimination in Game 5, which was big. So, we'll get into all that right now. But the Astros, are up against it. They're back home, so you do like that. But, after completely disappearing, especially from a hitting standpoint in Games 4 and 5, or Games 3 and 4, I should say. Game 5 was a good win to get just to get the series back home. But, the Astros obviously down 3-1, so never a position you like to be in. But at least they're able to, get the series back here, and hopefully we'll continue sort of what we did in Game 5, which we'll talk about. But Game 3 and 4, pitching wasn't bad at all. I mean, Garcia got the start in Game 3. I'm just going to go ahead and actually start this now. But Garcia pitched well on the road, which is something we're not really accustomed to. I mean, all regular season, he was a much better pitcher at Minute Maid Park other than, out on the road. His home and road splits, don't have the numbers in front of me, but I just know he's better at home. But they do lose this game here 2-0. It was, both, Friday and Saturday games were sort of, there was a lot of rain coming through the area. Neither teams had batting practice. In fact, Game 4 it was Game 3, it was raining pretty much throughout the entire game. But Garcia pitched well. The story of Game 3 and 4 is the bats just never showed up. I mean, Garcia only went 3 2/3, so they're still using Garcia. We've talked about this. His pitch count, his innings limit. Obviously never pitching this many innings, so they're still using Garcia, but still trying to manage his pitch count. So if he gets around 70 to 80 pitches, they usually try to pull him out right then and there. It's something I thought, coming into the postseason, just throw that out the window. Garcia is fine. He's not injured. He's not nursing any sort of nagging injury. He's just pitching more than he ever has in his entire career. They're still sort of carefully using Luis Garcia. But goes 3 2/3. Let's see here. How many pitches did Garcia throw? See if I can find that number. It's somewhere. 72 pitches. 41 strikes. But 72 pitches. He only gave up 1 earned run. He walked 4. That wasn't very good. Struck out 6. That was good. Blake Taylor came in just to get the final out of the 4th inning there. Yimi Garcia. I mean, the bullpen's been great. I mean, Graveman gave him an earned run there in the 9th inning. Or the 8th inning, I should say. So they gave up a home run there. But, I mean, the bullpen overall this entire postseason has been great. I mean, so I'm very proud of, the way, I'll give Dusty a little bit of credit, which I don't like to do, but the way he's sort of maneuvered and, he's made some interesting calls, I feel like, definitely throughout the regular season, but there's nothing I can blame Dusty for really in the postseason. I think I blamed him a little bit in Game 3 against the White Sox when he went to Yimi Garcia, or also Game 4. I mean, he got away with it in Game 4. But Garcia's been a guy that Dusty likes to go to early. Like if he needs a final out or if he's looking to get 3 outs in the 4th or 5th inning, Yimi Garcia's a guy he likes to use in those situations. So, and other than the ALDS, it's actually worked so far against Boston in the championship series, and of course so far in the World Series here. So, but Blake Taylor gets 1 out, also gives up a hit, struck out a guy. Yimi Garcia gets 5 outs, goes an inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, but no runs, no strikeouts. Brooks Raley, who, we had a scoreless inning. Stanek came in, got 1 out, struck out a guy. And then Graveman, gave up the home run there to make it 2-0. But overall, the pitching did well. I mean, you use, let's see, 6 guys? 6 guys, 2 runs through 9 innings. You usually expect to win that game, but Ian Anderson shut us down, starter for Atlanta there. In fact, he went 5 hitless innings, so we were no hit through 5. If I switch to his line, he only went 5 innings. Walked 3, struck out 4. We finally got a hit, I believe, in the 6th inning off, let's see here as this loads. I want to get the first. A.J. Minter, that's what I thought. A.J. Minter, who's been good for him as a lefty. Matzik as well has been another lefty that's been tough to hit. I mean, they got good relievers. Tyler Matzik. He's 3-0, 1.98 ERA in the postseason this year. Yeah, he's been good. You look at Minter, 1-on-1. He's a little easier to get to, but still 2 good lefties for him. And then Luke Jackson as their setup guy, Will Smith as their closer. They used all those guys in this game, and they shut us down pretty good. So, it was not a good showing in Game 3. It was raining. A little weather issue. Like, both teams have to deal with it. So, that's not, nobody took batting practice. Both teams dealt with the rain. I think there is home field advantage, so the Braves have the advantage there, but still, both teams dealt with the rain and the cold weather and everything that goes into it. So, I listen to these post-game shows on Sports Talk 790, and, all these callers calling about, not taking batting practice and the weather and this, that, that's not an excuse. The Braves dealt with the same thing. So, anyway, we just lost it. Hitters didn't show up. That simple. Give Ian Anderson some credit. The game on Saturday, the Astros had the lead here. Now, they couldn't take advantage of, 1,000 opportunities. They had, 11 runners left on base or whatever it was. I wonder if I can find that stat, actually, maybe here a little bit. But, early innings, they had traffic all over the bases, could only muster 2 runs, but they had the lead here. Let's see here. How'd they score the runs? So Carlos Correa grounded out. RBI ground out. And Altuve hit a home run in the 4th inning. And who started? Zach Greinke was great, actually. Zach Greinke got the start here, Game 4. And he was great. His pitch count going in was only going to be around 50-ish pitches if he could actually end up going that long. But he goes through 4 innings, didn't give up a single run. No walks, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, but he was great. 57 pitches, he pitched a great game. In the 4 innings he pitched, at least. And I think that's more than what you could have hoped for. The way this postseason's gone for the Astros, if your starter gets through 3-4 innings, you almost just take it. That's what you're expecting at this point. I know, Valdez had a good start, obviously, in Game, 5. 5 at, Fenway Park. We went 8 innings. Luis Garcia went 5+ innings back in Game 6. But other than those 2 starts, McCullers obviously in Game 1 against Chicago, if I go way back here. But most of our starters, that's not Lance McCullers. If they go 4 innings, you basically take it. And you hope you're still in the ballgame. That's how it's worked, I feel like. That's been the recipe. And then it's just use all our relievers and hope they're all pitching well, which they have. Bullpen's been fantastic this entire postseason. So, but Greinke goes 4. Stanek gets through an inning. And Brooks Raley, who I'll never trust. I don't care if he throws 5 straight scoreless outings. I'll never trust him. But he walked a guy, gave up a hit. Maton came in and gave up the inherited runner to make it 2-1. But Javier was the real issue in this game, giving up back-to-back home runs in the 7th inning to Dansby Swanson and Jorge Soler to give them a 3-2 lead, and the Astros couldn't muster anything else. But again, the hitting was really the issue. You can blame Javier because he does deserve some blame for giving up 2 home runs back-to-back in the 7th inning there. Javier had been unhittable this entire postseason until this game, obviously. But, that was not a good outing for him. But you go back to the early innings where the Astros had numerous opportunities to put, crooked numbers up on the scoreboard. Couldn't do it. That's something I look at, and I put more blame on that end than anything else. At this point, Alex Bregman, who's just been dreadful at the plate, continues at third in the lineup. It's just dead weight right now. Bregman's I've gotten on a lot of players. Like, I've blamed Altuve, I blamed Correa, I blame so many guys. Bregman's never a guy I've ever actually gotten on or gotten into and been upset with his sort of, whatever you want to call it, his performance on the field. But yeah, I mean, Bregman obviously was a guy who talked a lot, big trash talker, never shied away from the spotlight. Since the cheating scandal, the sign stealing stuff, he's just shut up. Doesn't say anything ever anymore, ever. So, yeah, but they needed to shake up the lineup after losing back-to-back games. Now you're down 3-1. You're on the brink of elimination, so it's win or go home literally now. Game 4 was a big one to get. The Astros couldn't do it. Game 5, they did shake up the lineup a little bit. They actually moved Correa, I believe, from the 5 hole up to the 3rd hole. They moved Gurriel up 1. Bregman drops all the way to 7, which is the right move. There needed to be a shake-up because your offense wasn't hitting. Bregman was just giving away outs in the 3rd hole. But the Astros fall down early. Framber Valdez, who's been terrible. He had that one magical start at Fenway Park in Game 5. Every other start he's been pretty bad. But yeah, he was pretty bad. I just got the lineup for today. Correa's back in the 3 hole. So I haven't seen all of it, but we'll look at that. But yeah, Framber Valdez, first inning, the Braves load the bases, and here comes a grand slam. Adam Duvall goes the opposite field to put 4 runs up in the first inning, and at that point it's like, all right, this season looks like it's drawing to a close. Astros had a good run, but disappointing to lose in the World Series. And I think I talked about this last podcast. The Astros are in a spot here. I think they'll be good next year. I really do. You lose Correa, they'll sign a shortstop. You'll look to get, Verlander back if you can. But I think they'll make a splash free agency-wise. I mean, there's people out there you can get, and you'll still have Alvarez, Tucker. You'll still have Altuve. You'll still have Bregman. So the team will still be good. But World Series opportunities don't come along all the time. The Astros, 5 straight years, obviously. League Championship Series, 3 World Series now. This is an important one to get. I'd hate to walk away from this 5-year stretch, going to 3 World Series and only walk away with 1 title that's tainted back in 2017. So it's important for them. But game 5, when stakes were there and your backs are up against the wall, the Astros fought back with 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. Bregman had a big hit. Maldonado had a sac fly. Correa had an RBI's fielder's choice. The Astros fought back, and, this is how it works. When the offense is dead, like it was in Game 3 or 4, it really only takes one guy. You get one guy with the big bases-clearing double, big home run, whatever it may be, the offense feeds off that. They feed off one another. This is what I've seen from this offense for the last, 5 years. It only takes one of them to get going, and then the others usually follow, it's like follow the leader almost. But yeah, Bregman had the big RBI double to cut it to 4-1. Maldonado had the sac fly. Correa had an RBI double. And then Gurriel had an RBI ground out. And just like that, you're tied 4-4. So you're right back there. Now, Freddie Freeman hits a home run off Valdez. And at this point, I don't even know why Valdez was still in the game, as he pitched, into the 3rd inning. But he was terrible. 5 earned runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, strikeout. Valdez is done for the year. If the Astros actually can force a Game 7, they have to win tonight to do that, of course. But if they can force a Game 7, he would, I guess, be available in the bullpen. I see no reason why you'd even think about using Valdez, because he's been pretty terrible. But yeah, Valdez gets pulled after giving up that home run. Yimi Garcia, we just talked about this, gets the final out of that 3rd inning at least to keep things at 5-4. The offense continues to fight back. Martin Maldonado deserves a lot of credit, a guy I've bashed on the entire year. Martin Maldonado because he hit 170 this year. But Martin Maldonado drew a key walk. Talk about him crowding the plate, but went up there with a plan, executed the plan. I mean, really, Minter just didn't throw him strikes, so it's not like he came up with a huge hit. He did have a big hit later in the game, but that point in time, the walk was big with the bases loaded to force in the tying run to make it 5-5. Marwin Gonzalez comes in to pitch it for the pitcher, of course, and he bloops a little lazy fly ball that falls in between the left fielder out there. Loops a fly ball single, scores 2 runs. The Astros now lead 7-5, and it's the bullpen roll call from here on out. So big, major credit to people like Phil Maton, who's been incredible this year. So Urquidy went an inning. This was an interesting situation because Urquidy would have started today, I assume, if he did not come out of the bullpen here in Game 5. And Urquidy, if you remember, had a good game too. I think he got the win. But, Dusty Baker, all hands on deck, went with Urquidy for an inning. I would imagine if you're going to start Luis Garcia tonight, Urquidy's available out of the bullpen. Would be my guess. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Game 3 starter. Well, we'll see. Well, you got to win tonight before you think about anything in terms of Game 7. So, but Urquidy actually got the win here, pitching the fourth inning. Yeah, fourth inning. Interesting there, but gets the win in this game. Scoreless inning, gave up a hit, got out of it. No, but Phil Maton, 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts. Phil Maton has been just great. His trade looks like it might be working. Postseason, things are amplified, but Phil Maton came in and pitched out of his mind. Great, like he's done all postseason. Listen to these numbers as I wait for this to load. But in 11 games in this postseason, no wins, no losses, .82 ERA, 13 strikeouts in 11 innings, so .91 whip. He's been great. So Maton's a guy you have to have a lot of faith in. Goes 2 innings. Stanek goes the 7th, and then Graveman goes 2 innings, striking out 2, giving up a hit, but scoreless. Your entire bullpen pitching 6 innings went scoreless again. So the bullpen been great. I see no reason. Yeah, you talk about our starters. Well, I talk about our starters not going deep. Our bullpen has bailed them out for really all their wins this postseason, I feel like. Even in a few of the losses. I mean, they get 2 runs in Game 3. Your offense didn't show up. Only gave up 3 runs in Game 4. Offense didn't show up. So offense ends up putting up 9 runs. So a few tack-on insurance runs was always nice to have. Offense really came out. Talked about but Maldonado had an RBI single that scored a run in the 7th inning. And then Carlos Correa had an RBI single in the 8th. So the shake of the batting order really did work. Scored 9 runs. So we're hoping to take sort of that momentum. I mean, day off sort of can mess up. But we're back home. The roof will be open tonight. It's a beautiful day outside. So, but yeah, I mean, you got Luis Garcia. If he can go you 4 or 5 innings, I think you'll take it. And hopefully your offense can sort of pick up where it left off, and you can force a Game 7. But backs are against the wall. Astros, give them major credit in Game 5, being down 4-0. They could have easily folded over and died, but they didn't. They got going, scored 9 runs, and we win that game 9-5. So we go back home. There's your sort of 3-game recap, down 3-2. Pumped up, excited, but, the excitement can die tonight. It can die tomorrow. Or we can be celebrating. So next time I talk to you, I'm not going to wrap things up quite yet, but next time I talk to you, I'll either be talking about the Astros either lost Game 6 or Game 7, or they win the World Series. So obviously hoping for that result, but they got to get 2 wins here, and they got to shut down the Braves pretty good here for the next 2 games. I can't even guess who the game starter 7 will be. If we get there, I don't want to look too. The Astros should worry about nothing but tonight's game. Pitching wise, worry about tonight's game. Don't even think about Game 7 because that's not even a guarantee, obviously. So yeah, we'll go in. Lineup just came out as I was talking a few minutes ago. I didn't see the full thing. I'll try to look at it now. I'd assume it'd be the same as it was in Game 5. Let's see if they posted it up here. That's Altuve, Brantley, Correa, Alvarez. Yeah. Well, Siri's going to get the start, actually. We get our DH back, which will be Alvarez. So Siri will actually start in center field. You'll move Brantley back to left, and you'll put Kyle Tucker in right. So Siri will get the start. So no Chas McCormick, no... Well, I guess that's your only option because Jake Myers isn't on the roster. So, yeah. I do like Siri, though. I do like him. So, Siri's hitting the 8th. And obviously the lineup had to change a little bit because you don't have to use your pitcher. You go back to your DH. So, yeah. But defensive alignment looks a little better. I don't like seeing... I mean, Alvarez hasn't played a bad left field, but obviously he just doesn't move as well as, some other people. So, anyway, yeah. Max Fried gets the ball for Atlanta tonight. So Max Fried, guy we got to in Game 2, hasn't pitched well. I mean, if his first 2 starts, I think in the postseason, were very good. Was very good. Was very good. I guess the Brewers in Game 2, he was like unhittable. He pitched against the Dodgers, I want to say, in an early game in that series was pretty good as well. But his last 2 starts, which was Game 5, I want to say, against the Dodgers, and Game 2, has not been so great. So hopefully we can get to Fried. Obviously their bullpen's great. We know that. But yeah, Garcia needs to get through some quality innings tonight. Hopefully get through 4 or 5. At this point, that's what you expect. That's what you hope for. And the offense needs to pick up sort of where it left off. I think the Astros will be okay. But again, backs up against the wall. Backs up. Got 2 games. I'm glad they're at home. Really glad they're at home. But got to get 2 wins here. But you can't get the second until you get the first. So, yeah, I'll wrap things up there. I'll talk to you when the World Series is over. Could be as early as tomorrow. Could be as late as Friday, for all I know. But yeah, we'll talk to you then. Good vibes. Think good thoughts. Like this video. Share it with your friends. Comment section below. Love to hear it all. But you will hear from me at least one more time before I sign off for the season. And hopefully it's a happy podcast. But yeah, I'll wrap things up there. We'll talk to you whenever I talk to you next time.